Hello, I'm Brian McAllister, and today I'll be giving my informative speech on how to get around the District of Columbia without the aid of a GPS or a map. These are my 4 members of my crew. They'll be my audience today. Guys, if you could, please have a seat. Just get them to sit down. Okay. Is everybody ready? Okay, thank you. As many people know, if you've traveled to Washington, D.C., it can be a very, very confusing city to get around. It was actually designed that way, but if you're familiar with how it's laid out, you can learn how to get around very, very easily. In the fire department, we don't have the option of being able to enter stuff into a GPS or look at a map when we get a run, so we have to be very, very intimately familiar with how to get around the city. Many people come to the city because they want to see the cherry blossoms, or they want to go to the monuments, see the Capitol, the White House, etc. Well, in order to do that, you have to be able to get from any point in the city to where you want to go. So, with that being said, there's a very, very simplistic way to get around. There's abbreviations, which I'll go over also, that can help you learn the 100 blocks. But what I'm going to give you now is the main corridor routes and the main directions of travel, so that you can figure out if somebody tells you an address in Northeast or in Southwest, you'll know how to get there from where you are. So, please excuse my rudimentary design here, but this will be your Capitol building. Top being north, bottom being south. So, the United States Capitol is the meeting point of the 4 sections of the city, designated Northeast, Northwest, Southeast, and Southwest. The dividing lines are North Capitol Street, South Capitol Street, East Capitol Street, and the Mall. There is no West Capitol Street. And they all radiate from the 4 sides of the Capitol building in their respective north, south, east, west direction. When facing a dividing line, regardless of the section, the even numbers are on the right and the odd numbers are on the left, meaning your house numbers or your building numbers, monument numbers. In general, numbered streets run north and south. So 1st Street, 2nd Street, 3rd Street, etc. in either direction, and they're mirrored on the opposite side on the Mall side. So you'll have a 1st Street here and a 1st Street here, but they're designated in different sections of the city. This will make sense in just a second. So, in general, when traveling north and south, meaning north and south on South Capitol Street and North Capitol Street, lettered streets run east to west, like so. So you would have an A Street, a B Street, and a C Street, etc. Also, an A Street, a B Street, and a C Street in the opposite direction. The streets are laid out in a numerical sequence: 1st Street, 2nd Street, 3rd Street, etc. And the dividing lines, like I said, are A Street, B Street, C Street, etc. Followed by another sequence of streets, the names of which contain 2 syllables, such as Adams, Bryant, etc. There's a 3rd sequence that is composed of streets, the names of which contain 3 syllables, such as Allison, Bryant, etc. In some sections of the District of Columbia, there's a 4th sequence of streets, the names of which contain 2 or more syllables, such as Aspen or Butternut. Interspersed with these streets are avenues, places, roads, which would be numbered in accordance with the streets in which they relatively parallel. So, with that being said, I'm going to put my paper down now because it's easier for me to just talk. Those are mental notes for myself. If somebody were to tell you, I live at the number 1 B Street Northeast, and you were in Southeast at C Street on the southwest side. Sorry, I'll give you southwest to northeast. B Street being the 2nd street up past the Capitol building, and you are the 3rd street down on the south side of the Capitol building, you know that the street is going to be north of where you are and 1 block over to the east side, with the designation of northeast and southwest you know that they parallel one another but on opposite sides. In order for you to memorize 100 blocks, there's also another system we use. It's called EKAPU. That's E, K, P, and U, sorry. That would be the 500 block, the 1000 block, the 1500 block, and the 2000 block. When we're going down the road and we know that the address is the 600 block of South Capitol Street, we know that it's between E and K, regardless of what side of the city that it's on. So if you can memorize the EKAPU, which is, like I said, E is 500, K is the 1000 block, P is the 1500 block, and U is the 2000 block, running in the north and south direction, you know that between A and B Street is a 100 block, so between A and E, there's 500 addresses, or 500 relative numbers, and the same going north. East and west, they're going to run in comparison with 1st Street, 2nd Street, 3rd Street, etc. So you could have the 100 block of East Capitol Street will be at the intersection of 1st and East Capitol, and so forth, going down the road, or down the line. The city has many circles. It's too many to go into the names of them, but each quadrant has a circle with the exception of Southwest. They have smaller circles, but not named big circles. This is where your avenues and your roads are going to intermix. People get confused with the circles. Circles are relative. The street addresses go straight through the circles. It shouldn't confuse people. I don't know why it does, but it does. So, in conclusion, if you want to get around the city, just remember, even numbers are on the right and odd numbers are on the left whenever you're facing the Capitol building. Number streets run north and south, letter streets run east and west. Anybody can get around the city if you can just remember those simple steps. So, with that being said, I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank all my members for participating in this and not laughing at me while I did it. And I wish everybody good luck.